Hello, hi y'all. You're going to be hearing construction because they're right outside my window. So apologies ahead of time if Facebook crashes again. It'll be on YouTube and I'll post that. Hence the noises. So today is Election Day in North America. November the 3rd. It's a Tuesday ruled by Tyr. Tyr is the Mars equivalent, essentially Nordic astrology, Nordic mythology. Tyr's Day, Tuesday. Hence the etymology. Today is a blue spectral storm guided by self generation, according to the Mayan dream spell, and it is a third eye day, Ajna chakra day. So if you're going to be doing meditations, chakra stuffs, do the mudras, do the mantras, it's a third eye day. And once again, I apologize for all the clamoring you will be hearing. The sun is in Scorpio, the moon is in Gemini, Mercury's in Libra in retrograde. It's about to actually go direct halfway through today, very soon, which is rather fortuitous and interesting given it's an election day in America. Venus is in Libra and Mars is in retrograde in Aries. Let's go ahead and pull some cards. Hopefully you're all doing well. My mom was like, we're going to watch Hamilton tonight as a family and not watch the news and watch a pastor, so she's kind of freaking out a little. Um, but we have the ability to not succumb to fear, always know what's happening is needing to occur, whether it's noise of construction outside or changes in the zeitgeist politically, etc. Today we have the Princess of Wands. So a suit card. I'm gonna do something really quick. Hopefully that helps. All right, so, and I want y'all to see the art, so I want to make sure it's like saturated right. All right, so the Princess of Wands is the airy part, the fun, intellectual, childlike part of fire, passion, willpower, right? Creativity in that fiery way, life, heart. So youthful enthusiasm and confidence, harnessing the creative forces around you, seeking to innovate and experiment. It says, I spark the impossible. A sun child, she dazzles all who meet her, young, free, and formidable. In her presence, nothing is impossible. She wipes us clean of past fears so we can create in a space of pure freedom. Her luminosity resonates, sparking rather, a memory that we are and all of life is bound up in matter. Her fire, fueled by breath, air, transmutes the heavy energy of past experience and failure, burning it clear away to release light energy. This potency can catalyze a new vision, and she is honored as a brilliant initiator. The art of the Princess of Wands arises out of my teenage interest in science fiction, the elaborate, fantastical imagery which sought to express equally complex psychological concepts. Jean-Claude Forest's comic strip of the 1960s, called Barbarella, with its sexually charged and mystical planetary realms, evoked the fiery tantric space goddess. The idea of space being a vast, exotic, and erotic realm was always more alluring than the sterile reality it has turned out to be, and that's a presupposition. We don't know that. Dark matter might be consciousness itself, right? So for me, she epitomizes our capacity to infuse our reality with a mythological quality. In a similar vein, she illustrates the illustrations of superheroine Octobriana, said to embody the principles of the Russian Revolution and battle against both Russian and American oppression, was a character that both me and Bowie cited when discussing how to visualize Ramona a Stone for the Outside album book. The Princess of Wands transmits the drive to experiment and innovate. It is about death of the old and birth of the new. Very appropriate for election time. Whoever wins, things are going to change. They're never going to be the same, pretty much. It is in letting go of fixed beliefs about how something should be, quote unquote, that we are teleported into an open realm of pure potential. Cast your doubts and fears into the fire to be melted down and transformed. Alchemy 101. And I would suggest all Americans do that. If we're afraid, fear not. Jesus said that more often in the Bible. It's like, don't attach to anything. It's all change. And just ride the waves, enjoy the ride, try to be the best you can be, right? Cast your doubts and fears into the fire to be melted down and transformed. Allow the exuberance of youthful confidence and innocence to surge. You can consciously take on something that appears to be impossible and flourish and grow in the challenge. And right now, with the Sun in Scorpio and Mercury in Gemini, we're going to be getting a lot of news that's crazy. Mercury's in retrograde for the moment. It'll flip, and that'll be, to stationary, but it'll still be in the shadow, kind of weirdness, funk energy. We have to consciously and creatively fashion in the alchemical furnace of reality that which we would prefer. So do you want to live in fear and cowering and wondering and dependency? Do you want to, we're all interdependent, so You can't escape that, and you can't escape beliefs or projections. But it's like, what do you prefer? Do you want to think that the world's ending? Do you want to think that the old world's changing and a new world's beginning? That's kind of where we're at. Once again, I apologize for all the roof clamoring. All good. Ultimately, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and get a clarifier. What wants to pop? Whoa, almost dropped that. We've got the Counselor. This is basically like a major arcana card in this. Actually, no, it's not. It's the 12 of Water, but that's like a queen or whatever in this deck. It's a little different. This Dreams of Tarot deck, which is dope. Somebody gifted it to me. Shout out. Kaya. Great deck. Alright, so what we got? Water. 12 of Water. The Counselor. And we should be seeking wise counsel in ourselves, being the change we want to be. I wouldn't suggest just listening to any fear-based propaganda from either side of the election. Just kind of chill. Be like water, my friends, right? And also be powerfully creative in your alchemy and choosing light over fear, love over fear. It's a choice. So the clarifier is 12 of Water, the Counselor. Empathic, wise, objective advice, trustworthy, emotional understanding, clarity, and sharing. Key phrases: it's a time of questions and mixed emotions, no doubt. Scorpio season with the Gemini moon. It's like, I see both sides and I feel deeply about all things. Look beyond the words to the emotions. So don't just watch the news headlines, like feel it out vibratorily. Mixed or confused emotions. Listen, hear. Seek objective counsel. An emotionally complex situation, a lack of empathy, an opportunity for understanding, being receptive and not rejecting, and our feelings of preventing a resolution. Are your feelings getting in the way, right? Meaning, the Counselor of Water represents one who stands high, an elder, advisor, or wise man or woman whom the king or queen calls upon to discuss their feelings regarding a situation or experience of concern. She or he is someone who is trusted. They are caring, compassionate people who will listen attentively, only interrupting to flow, to ask a question if there is need. Once the tale is told, the Counselor offers her thoughts in an objective manner. Her role is not to give instruction, but to present alternatives and insight that will help the seeker understand the thoughts and feelings that may be clouding their own judgment. She is an empathic person, skilled at stepping outside of herself to look through the eyes of others, very Venus and Libra, very Gemini moon, right? Where it's like, oh, I can see the whole picture, but I'm coming from a watery place, Sun in Scorpio. And Mercury going direct today in Libra, right? Where it's counsel. Our advice to others, their advice to us. I apologize for all the construction sounds. Literally feet away from me through a glass pane. Her role is not to give instruction, but to present alternatives and insight that will help the seeker understand the thoughts and feelings that may be clouding their judgment. She is an empathic person skilled at stepping outside of herself to look through the eyes of others. She never judges and offers only compassion and the opportunity to understand the emotions at play. By asking the right questions, which is very Scorpio sun, it's like, let's get into the bottom of this, get into the mystery, asking the right questions. Moon in Gemini, thinking about things in a very kind of emotionally staid way. She helps people to come to their own conclusions about what feels right for them and how to proceed from that point. When the Counselor appears in a reading, she symbolizes a need to be empathic and objective when dealing with emotionally complex situations. Dare I say the American election is an emotionally charged situation. If you can, look beyond the words being spoken to the emotions behind them. If you cannot, the Counselor asks that you seek out the wisdom of someone who can. There may also be a time approaching that will require you to keep your emotions in check, especially if they are confused. If you're feeling reactive or challenged, talking it through might help you to make sense of your feelings and provide you with answers. If you act without taking this step, your mixed or confused emotions may muddy the waters further. So we need to be like really, conscious, honestly. This is what Sun and Scorpio is all about, right? Where it's like, I want to make deliberate, conscious, powerful, transformative actions, right? With the Princess of Wands as the card itself. We have the ability to alchemize and do this in a creative, fun way if we dare choose, right? Like, hopefully wow, that just changed the saturation really hard. We're choosing to be playful and creative and lighthearted, and remember we're in a game of consciousness and having fun. But we also need to remember to ask for advice, to not be emotionally triggered, triggered stuff, right? We need to be wise and seek counsel, be equanimable. Very Venus and Mercury in Libra, where it's like be balanced and ultimately with your emotions, Sun and Scorpio. And being balanced emotionally can come from Gemini moon, where it's like we're seeing both perspectives. We're seeing multiple sides of a situation, maybe it's a better way to put it. So let's go ahead Sorry for all the construction noises. I'm going to apologize a lot of times. I got Mars and Mercury conjunct in 12th house Cancer. I'm going to be super sorry about everything, even though I can't control it. Let's go ahead and get a Galactic Heritage card. So, it's kind of cool because I guess we'll have a new roof after today, but just like anything, change requires effort, and effort is audible at this point. So there's that. Seeking karmic balance. Guys, can't make this shit up. Venus in Libra, Mercury in Libra going retro to direct today. We're seeking karmic balance, right? We're seeking to be creative and passionate fire, but balancing the fire with the water, the wisdom, and the patience, and the heartedness, empathy, and not emotional overwhelm, right? Allowing hope and joy to overwhelm us to the point where we don't get watered down and waterlogged emotionally. Seeking karmic balance is the card. So let's go ahead and see what that says. Number 63, Pleiadian, right? So 63 Pleiades, seeking karmic balance, present timeline. As a 4th to 5th density species in this era, Pleiadians are now experiencing a higher spiritual awakening. Aren't we all? They recognize their past imbalances and have gained a sincere intention to balance karma by recognizing that all things happen for a reason. Very important today to remember that. And learning from their choices. This card encourages you to do the same. A Pleiadian guide is most likely assisting you with this. Take an honest look at your repeating challenges and know that karma is at work. What have you been constantly hitting stubbing your toe on? Can you lift your leg up enough to not repeat the cycle? These obstacles are gifts. Look at everything is happening through us, not to us. They're gifts to help you move to the next level of your growth. Embrace them and open to the lesson they are teaching you. We're always in school. We're not in detention. Don't think that. When the Pleiadians were a young species, they made choices that they regretted. Don't we all? This created karma for many of them and the species as a whole. But as they evolved, they learned to balance this karma by gaining wisdom about their past actions. Right? They sought counsel. They became emotionally clear about maybe some of the impulsive actions and spirited things. I was really excited to do this, but man, I was hungover the next day. Right? So it's like they learned from their mistakes. This card refers to the era in which the Pleiadians matured as a species. They learned the lessons of their past and became committed to helping others, committed to helping other younger species avoiding to make the same mistakes they did in their past. Very Venus in Libra, very Mercury in Libra. Right? It's like, I'll help you, I'll give you counsel, you can learn from me. Moon in Gemini. See what I did? Don't make the same mistakes. Check it out. Check out my test answers. This is one of the many reasons why they interact with humans in the present. If this card comes up your reading, perhaps you had a Pleiadian lifetime in the past when they were a young species and now are balancing that karma out. Or perhaps you have a connection with a Pleiadian being from this mature present era who is working with you now by giving you wisdom and guidance. Look to the other cards for clues. It may be possible that you're balancing karma in general. We all are right now for sure. And that your soul desires to stop repeating old patterns from the past. This is a clear message to look at your life and your actions clearly and do whatever you can to stop repeating old, destructive patterns. Always remember that wisdom neutralizes karma. Wisdom, counsel, good advice, can stop you from repeating impulsive and immature mistakes, potentially. Always remember that wisdom neutralizes karma. In gaining the wisdom of a lesson from the past, future actions are made from a conscious place, and this is the ultimate way to balance karma. You break the chain, you break the cycle, right? The buck stops with you at that point when you make a free will choice in such a way that's wise. So do seek counsel today emotionally. Like if you're freaking out, let's pray, ask for help from above, whatever you want to call. Talk to people through it, but also realize that you're in a place where you're able to catalyze creatively and alchemically. So you get to basically play with, sometimes your toys are broken. You can tell a story with broken toys and be like, oh my God, there was a huge war or whatever, in your story or whatever. So. As a kid, I used to tell a lot of stories with toys. It's one of my favorite things as a child. So we have very powerful creative energy of fire balanced with the water of counsel, not being too impulsive. Seeking karmic balance is what we're doing. As within, so without. As above, so below. So let's go ahead and get an animal oracle card. Hopefully you're all doing well. Let me know where you're watching from. It's always fascinating to this double Gemini to know where you peeps is at. Ooh, I know there's a lot of noises. I can hear that. Freedom. This is why we voted all in America, potentially. We have the right to, because of the freedom we have to. North Korea doesn't have this right? So freedom is the horse. This is number 24. freedom. To be truly free, we must learn true independence. A piece of paper isn't giving you independence. Declaration of Independence, it was true anyway, and then we became conscious of it, like at a different level. But it was always the case, and we just had to remember that. Trust yourself, as listening to people who may have other agendas is not the way to make a good, clear decision. Fear, people say, you need me, I'll save the world, whichever side of the political spectrum, and that's not, you have to help yourself a little. And making good, clear decisions, wise decisions doesn't happen when you're inundated with propaganda, which is what media basically all is. Individuation from our parents is a natural process, although it is often fraught with difficulty on both sides. Your true power resides in your ability to always know you have a choice, and it is yours to make. You have the freedom of choice. You could choose to participate, you could choose not to participate. It's that simple. If people are rioting all around you, you can say, oh, I'm going to join in the, what's it called? The group think. I mean, there's very much, what is it called? There's some psychological term where once people start getting in groups, they start acting in it with a gestalt, a psychology, and they don't think, they think in terms of herds, and they've lost their true independence and their freedom. You have a choice to participate with that or not. You don't have to just submit to your biosuit, your 3D meat suit. Your brain, in a sense, right? Mythos. There was once a young king who lived in a castle upon a great hill who had just been newly crowned, so he began looking for a queen. He was out riding one day and saw a woman who was riding her huge white stallion as well, if not better, than he rode. Her horse flew across the fields, and the woman's hair streamed long and wild behind her. The king kicked on his horse, and after some time caught up with her. Her face was flushed, her smile bright, and her words joyful. Their eyes met. Sounds like very much like a Princess of Wands, very fiery, passionate, beautiful woman, right? Their eyes met and they fell deeply in love. After a time, the young king realized that Rhiannon, for that was her name, was loving, loyal, gentle, wise, fair, all that he wanted in a queen. He asked her to marry him, and she accepted with grace. Rhiannon's responsibility as queen would now to be take over for the queen regent, right? And while it would be natural for the mother of the king to be pleased for her son, secretly, Scorpio's son, she was vastly jealous of her usurper and resented her loss of personal power. Very Scorpio son. It's like, I have this and it's mine and do not take it, the power, right? Very emotionally attached. Soon, a beautiful blue-eyed son with a star-like birthmark on his leg was born, which reminds me of Cloud Atlas, if you've seen that movie, the star birthmark. To protect him, Rhiannon kept her baby with her as she slept in her chambers. One morning, when Rhiannon awoke, her baby was gone from her, and instead was a great deal of blood. She screamed in horror. The Queen Regent yelled, "Look, she has killed her baby. I knew she wasn't to be trusted." Very Mercury and Libra retrograde, right? It's like, miscommunications in relationships. And Rhiannon insisted the baby had been taken, but the Queen Regent was not to be convinced. The king asked Rhiannon where the baby was, but she confessed she didn't know. Gemini moon, very immature emotionally, potentially like, I don't know. Oh, shit, it is gone. I don't know where it went. Rhiannon's son had been kidnapped by the Queen Regent in the night. Scorpio's son, like dark, taboo kind of things happening in the night. She had killed a chicken and used its blood to make the scene against Rhiannon. Violence, right? Blood, guts, Scorpio's son. The Queen Regent had decided to raise the son as her own, and he was safe but hidden. Rhiannon was put on trial, and she made no defense and was found guilty of her son's murder. The king, still in love with her, could not kill her, but instead sentenced her to a job that would bring huge shame to her every day. Reminds me a little of Game of Thrones. Shame, shame, right? As the castle was up on a high hill, visitors were given a horse to travel to the top. Rhiannon's new job was to take the place of one of the hard-working horses and carry people to the top of the castle on her back. Every day she struggled with her guilt, never raising her head. She slept in the stables with the horses curled up and crying. Very Scorpio sun, I'm crying and I'm emotional. Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed, potentially emotionally. And Venus and Libra, it's like, I live with the horses, and we're, very Gemini moon there. Rhiannon gradually became aware of the importance of the work that the horses did beside her. People couldn't get to the castle without them, and they bore the work with strength and focus. She also realized the horses were set free at night, and they ran, played, loved, and foraged, mindful of the moment. So Venus and Libra, Mercury and Libra, Gemini moon, like they worked hard, they played hard at night. In the daytime they were slaves, at night they were free, right? She decided, too, that she would follow their example in a weird way. She matured through seeking karmic balance, but ultimately getting the counsel of the horses, their unspoken counsel. She saw what they did and did what they did. She decided she would follow their example, bearing the guests with strength and focus and enjoying her freedom at the end of the day instead of hiding in shame. On one of these evening walks, she saw the Queen Regent playing with a little boy in the lower courtyard of a farm. He was on a small pony. She thought the king must have remarried quickly. Gemini moon, very naive, very childlike. It's like, oh, I mean, I've got a Gemini moon, so I'm not hating. It's like, it can be naive. It's like, oh man, he had a baby quickly. We've only been divorced for 3 months, and there's a kid on a horse, or whatever the fuck she thought. The small boy lost his balance and fell. Mercury retrograde and going direct into Libra. The queen regent checked him over for cut, and as she did so, the little boy's trouser leg was lifted, and lo and behold, there on his leg was a birthmark in the shape of a star. Rhiannon realized that this was her own son and that she had been tricked. Scorpio sun. Even Gemini moon, trickster, kind of emotional energy, right? It was like taboo tricks. She called the local people together to witness the boy and confirm the mark on his leg, Venus and Libra. It's like, let's get everybody's consent and counsel and seek karmic balance with this and come to the truth of it. Happily, the king had not stopped loving Rhiannon and reinstated her as queen, banishing his mother into exile. Rhiannon never forgot the lessons of the horses who had worked beside her. And from then on, no horse was a beast of burden in their kingdom, but instead a symbol of power and freedom. Mythos about horses or featuring horse deities encircle the world wherever horses were found or heard of. Deities linked to the horses include Epona, Etienne, Apollo, Poseidon, Resheph, Sunna, Odin, Neptune, and Equester. The animal. I apologize for all the construction sounds. The animal. Besides the dog, there is perhaps no other animal that has shared such a close and integral relationship with humans. Horses have been a partner, Venus and Libra, right, for humans in their discovery of the world, in wars, in the production and hunting of food, and as a riding companion. Gemini moon, companionship emotionally. They've been there for us. Without horses being domesticated, huge numbers of cultures would never have found it possible to trade, roam, discover, and conquer vast territories. The human race owes horses a debt it is impossible to repay. We wouldn't be who we are without horses. Just know that. Even automobiles have horsepower, right? It's like this shit changed our consciousness. Horses in their current form evolved years ago and were domesticated. They came in all shapes and sizes, from giant Shire horse breeds to dish-faced Arabians and the tiny miniature horses used as pets. Horses are herd animals and are highly social. Gemini moon, Venus and Libra, Mercury and Libra retrograde, going direct, social. Horses are herd animals and highly social. They have eyes on the sides of their heads that can almost see behind them, although they do have some blind spot in their front field of vision because their eyes are on the sides, basically. Horses are used as therapy for humans who have mental and physical trauma. The counselor card, seeking karmic balance, they can bring emotional clarity to people, right? Horse therapy programs commonly assist veterans with PTSD and children with autism, and they visit hospitals and hospices to bring comfort. Venus in Libra. Their loving spirit, pure presence, and healing attributes make them perfect for this work. The magic, which is why we're all here. Horse magic is profoundly free and powerful. To ride a horse at full gallop is to experience a sacred bolt of the most primal liberty. When you are feeling trapped or small, and I dare I say everyone's feeling that to a point right now between COVID, election results, winter's coming in the Northern Hemisphere, all this kind of stuff. When you're feeling trapped or small, expand your field by calling for their energy. There's also a long history in physical and mental healing with horse energy, and this can be used when you're ill or unstable. Horse energy invokes a calm and solid presence and can be used to quiet your spirit if you are feeling disturbed. I actually had the opportunity at one point when I was helping my Nana out in Fairhope, Alabama, to feed horses, and I ran with some horses around me, and they are powerful. It felt like Jurassic Park, when they're running from the dinosaurs in that original Jurassic Park scene, and they're all around them, all the herd dinosaurs, I forget what they're called. That is how it felt. It was just like the earth was vibrating and thumping, and it was crazy. All right, so let's go ahead and get an oracle card. If you guys think, if you're enjoying this, tag somebody else that might enjoy it. It's that simple. Spread the love. If you really like it, tip jars available. The jam hopefully will kick ass today. I've got my electric guitar set up, so I'm going to jam, not sing a song. We got Marcel Duchamp. This is rather Princess of Wands, and Gemini moon. This guy's all about Dadaism, taking a toilet and making it art. You'll see. It's very free. Freedom of the horse. Very free indeed to be so bizarre. And with Gemini moon, it's like the moon is dualistic. There's two sides to his arms, Venus and Mercury in Libra. He looks like balanced in that sense. The grandity of Dada and precursor to pop. Marcel Duchamp wrote the fuzzy blueprint for conceptual art and gifted history, the ready-made. He was a counselor in terms of how to be a trickster and fun. Princess of Wands. A mass-produced object elevated to art status by the baptizing artist. It's like, this urinal is art. An example is the famous fountain. That's this. Quote, fountain, nay a common urinal. Wordplay and irony, Gemini moon, were God to Duchamp, who caused consternation early in his career with Nude Descending a Staircase #2, a mechanical painting of the eponymous action with nary a nude bit distinguishable. So it says nudes, and everyone's like, ooh, is there porn? It's like, not any nudity. So it kind of fucked with people's expectations, right? Recognition only found Duchamp in his twilight years, but his posthumous legacy is having a heyday. So the advice we're getting from Marcel Duchamp is scandal before stardom. Sometimes we've got to kind of break the system to remake it in the way that makes the most sense to us. She's kind of scandalous, the Princess of Wands. She's like, it's like Annie Oakley vibes or something, right? If she was an artist instead of a gunslinger. But she could be a gunslinger, whatever. The point is, like, she's fun, she's free. Freedom is the card, right? And she's challenging authority. She's breaking down the old, making the new. Right, she's bringing in the new hot fire. Hopefully, we're doing that in such a balanced way, like a Bruce Lee. Be water, my friend. Seek the wisdom of others. Don't be beholden to them and frozen in the opinions of others, which could be the shadow of water, where it's like, oh, I'm frozen. But we need to be using our heart, wands, our spirit, ultimately our willpower to break through creatively and do it in a balanced and wise way. This will lead to freedom, folks. This leads to the karmic balance that we're seeking. We make decisions, we make mistakes, we learn from them. We tell other people about our mistakes, they don't make the same mistakes, but they can if they want. That's their karmic lesson. You see what I mean? It's like this kind of riding a bicycle, ironically enough, is you're falling gracefully to one side and then you're falling gracefully to the other, and you find the rhythm and you keep your balance, right? That's the karmic balance. Bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to assholes, right? We find the balance, and we ultimately laugh, hopefully, the airy part of fire, creatively imbuing our opinions onto it and showing the wisdom we're learning. Or that was free. No, that's right. Showing the wisdom we're learning through this. Hopefully, we know that we're always free and we're not bound by anything other than our fears, our projections. Even the Apostle Paul, like, you can be in jail and getting the shit beaten out of it, but you can be joyful if you have the right perspective, a wise perspective. You can actually be free independently of a circumstance. So we are seeking karmic balance, and Marcel Duchamp is saying scandal before storm. Upheaval has to occur before settling down, and settling down ossifies, and then there's an upheaval, right? So that's kind of what is being illustrated here. So let's go ahead and get a stone crystal card, and then we shall jam. Ooh, this is some Gemini moon, Scorpio sun looking stuff. Kyanite. You don't have to own kyanite. You can quantumly entangle. We're, the one in the all in the one. So you don't have to own this, but you can gaze upon it and say, I claim its power. What it is, blue kyanite forms in long striated columns. Its heady vibe makes it a mindful choice. Mindful, Gemini moon. Mindful choice for the 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the afternoon meditation set. Who needs it? The perpetually restless Gemini moons. Honestly, Virgo, Venus in Libra, Mercury in Libra. It's like, how do I come into balance? Where to put it on the bedside table, altar, or wherever you're looking to go deep. Scorpio sun, going deep in the waters of the magic. When psychologically even. When to use it? When you find yourself drowned out by the mental noise. I dare say most Americans are there right now. Even the greatest thinkers need to be reminded, thoughts are thoughts. Reality is reality. You can deal with it like an anxious chihuahua, or you can get down with kyanite and align to the moment with your calm and cool and tact. This says deepen your perspective, right? And I think that's really what this election and all these things are telling us, beyond just the headline, porn, fear porn, is we have to deepen our perspective and know that we're alchemical, powerful, creative beings, image of God bearers, however you want to put this, sparks of divinity, and we're here to have fun. And we're taking it fucking seriously. And we're taking it so seriously it's ruining the day, right? So we need to wisen up, seek counsel in such a way that we remind ourselves that we chose to be here. Everything's happening. It's all good. We're playing the game. Do it wisely. That will make us feel more free. We won't be bound by our fears or even our joys. We won't be so, petulant and joyful that we just burn all the bridges and drink all the drinks and smoke all the weed and all that stuff. Like, that's not wise, right? It's like, sure, drink a little, party, but like, if you just drink, if you're perpetually stoned or drunk, it's like, are you participating in life fully well, consciously? Probably not. Find the middle path. That's the balance. Venus in Libra, Gemini moon. Find this balance of opposites, right? That is where the freedom lies. both exist. You can't fight one. It's not like Jedi are awesome and Sith suck. It's like they both needed to balance the Force. That's the point. Seeking karmic balance. Know that Democrats are needed as much as Republicans right now. Yay, that's where we're at. But scandal before a storm. So I have a feeling that we're going to be hearing a lot of weird shit, whether it's Hunter Biden's into child porn or Trump is building fences around the White House so he takes over with a coup or whatever the fuck you're hearing on the media. There's going to be a bunch of scandal before the storm. Ironically, today's a blue storm day, right? Synchronistic there. Shit has to be turned up in order for newness to come, but the newness can happen when we participate with joy in it and hope. And it's a privilege to be here at all. So don't gnash your teeth and rue the day. We chose to be here now. Do the best you can. Do good. Deepen your perspective, though. And then sometimes that means letting go of presuppositions that you're entrenched with. We're like, oh, these guys are evil, and I could never see them as right. It's like Trump is in the image of God just as much as Joe Biden, just as much as Hillary Clinton, just as much as... You see what I'm saying? It's like, whatever. It takes all kinds. We've all got karma. We're all working through the dream, and huzzah, here we are. We're doing it. So let's go ahead and play some music. Hopefully that all made sense. And I do hope that you guys can hear, given all of the construction noises. I don't know how this will work, if it will even work. So, jam time. So we got the Princess of Wands with a clarifier of the counselor. So let's be fun but wise. Have a drink but not too much kind of thing. Alright, so, that was the ceiling. With my guitar head. Princess of Wands. And I don't know about y'all, but I'm really excited that Mercury's going direct. This has been a really brutal Mercury retrograde for me personally, as a double Gemini. So, alright. is to have fun, but also be conscious while you're doing it, right? I mean, having fun with no wisdom can lead to a lot of issues, but having only tautness of thought and no fun, no flexibility, no playability makes problems in its own right. So we have the ability today to really tap into a powerful playfulness and intellectual flexibility, if you want, to create alchemy in new and different ways, very powerful ways, in such a way that I'm trying to make it less bright on this, so you guys can see what the heck's going on. Oh, whatever, can't win them all. So, Princess of Wands, though, powerful fun. Look at that way, playful power. And with the Counselor as the clarifier, we have the ability to be wise about it, to step into a new power, to a new level of freedom, where we see both sides of the situation. Moon and Gemini, Venus and Libra, Mercury retro into direct Libra. We're going to seek karmic balance, right? Like we have a chance to do it in a better way. But to get to that place, sometimes you have to go through scandal before stardom. You gotta like challenge and shock people and rip through it like a meteor in the atmosphere to make a new change, right? So that's what Michelle Duchamp is telling, and Kyanite is telling us that we can quantumly tap into this, by the way, Kyanite, and deepen our perspective. We're going with Scorpio Sun, it's about deep, powerful psychological changes. With the Moon and Gemini, it's about gathering information. And with Venus and Libra, we're going to have to try to do it beautifully, responsibly, in a balanced way. With Mercury going direct in Libra, we're going to be able to say what we think, but understand it in context to the opposing views, all that kind of stuff. We do have a podcast today with Akosh. He's been on before, fascinating guy. We had to reschedule it from the other day, but we're doing it today, which is not typically when we have podcasts. So I'll post that. Holler for readings, love giving them. People love getting them. And also, yeah, just keep your head up. Know that this too shall pass. We're here to play with these toys on the table as they stand. Try to be wise to yourself and others. Try to bring wisdom to the situation that allows for freedom for everybody. Freedom for you, freedom for your enemy. That's what loving your enemy is all about, right? Where you seek emotional balance and karma by loving your enemy as yourself. Libra Venus, Mercury Venus, right? Gemini Moon. And you can do this intensely. It's going to be cathartic, therapeutic, and transformative. Sun and Scorpio. So, scandal before a storm. Just where we're at right now, there's going to be a lot of miscommunication, a lot of siding, a lot of picking sides. We're entering the age of Aquarius where people are, it's like the sorting hat. People are picking their teams and sticking with them. And it's like, I'm a Jedi, they're a Sith, fuck them. It's like, we got to remember we're all one thing, experiencing yourself for the sake of experiencing it. So we just got to, deepen our perspective with Kyanite. Know that, hold on to that, and you can walk on water. You won't sink when the waves hit. There will be waves. There will be storms. There will be flotsam and jetsam, but you can walk on top of that with what? The buoyancy of the Princess of Wands, with hope and joy and a sense of adventure, right? Don't be stupid. Don't just drink, all the drinks and do all the drugs. Like, be in a balanced way, right? But do seek freedom. Ultimately, if you yourself feel free, the conditions of the universe don't even really matter at a level. You will seek karmic balance within, and it will be so without, no matter what the quote circumstance is. Scandal before stardom, so shit happens before it gets better. It's how it works. Don't sweat it. Deepen your perspective. Know that you chose to be here with Kyanite, and know that you too are an integral character on the stage of life. And thank you for being here now. I'm here now. You're here now. Let's do good, right? Let's do our best. Hopefully that makes sense. Have a good day, and go vote if you feel so inclined. Adios.